Welcome to Edexing, the channel where we explain to you about which companies are best for you to invest in the stock market. So today we are here with the company Hayleys PLC. So we are going to do a strategic analysis based on the annual report 2024-2025. So before we move on, let me give you a brief introduction on the company. So I think you all have heard about this company, Hayleys PLC, and it is considered as one of the largest and also the most diversified multinational conglomerates in Sri Lanka and has an history of over 145 years as it was founded in 1878. And the headquarters are located in Colombo, and currently it is operating in over 16 business sectors and is exporting to more than 90 countries. So if I tell you about some of the main basic sectors that they're operating in: plantations, purification, transportation, logistics, agriculture, consumer products, construction materials, renewable energy, to defining their direction. So in order to explain about the direction, we consider about the vision, mission, and the strategic path they follow. So when it comes to the vision, their vision is to be Sri Lanka's corporate inspiration at all times. This seems a very interesting vision to be, because this vision you will never stop achieving. And also, whatever the situation, whatever the times you will be there, the other companies will be looking up to you for an inspiration. So that is what they needed to do by the vision. And then they have the mission that they use for achieving the vision. For that, what they're doing is delivering superior shareholder value. They're focusing on providing value for their shareholders, and that is through the unlocking the full potential of their people and also achieving leadership in all the domestic and global businesses. And then they have these strategic directions in order to achieve this vision and mission as well. So one of the initial one they have already achieved, which is the portfolio optimization, because they have a portfolio of products and customer centricity. They always focus on the needs and wants of the customers, and inclusive business model. Rather than being separated from the customers or suppliers and all, they're trying to be inclusive as much as possible. And ESG integration, which is recently which is gaining a high concentration. And also, as mentioned in the mission, it is all about the people that they have. So they are nurturing inspired teams in order to achieve. That is, they're using it as a strategy in order to achieve their mission goals, and other objectives. All right. So now we are on a process of evaluating the internal environment and the external environment of Hayleys PLC. So for the internal environment analysis, we have used the SWOT analysis. So based on the SWOT, I'm not going to explain everything for you all, as you all can view what is included in here. I'll tell you the basic and the most important ones. So they have the export leadership, because they are exporting about 5% of Sri Lanka's total exports, and they have diversified business across 16 sectors, which is very huge. A lot of sectors having a high portfolio, and they have a strong global presence over 90 countries, which is another very good thing. And this also they have been able to achieve because of their high brand equity. And they have solid operational cash flows and so on. When they come to the weaknesses, historically, although now they are improving and it's in a good state, historically they had high debt levels, which can affect their current and future financial stability. Then they have thin profit margins, because due to price pressures in some sectors. When we have portfolio, and all the sectors are not always performing really well. And also there can be various fluctuations and external environmental factors happening. So this can cause thin net profit margins. And also generally the other conditions, like they are getting exposed to Sri Lanka's macroeconomic volatility, that can be a weakness for them when they go into the export market. And also they are depending on energy. And also the foreign exchange also changing due to the political instability in Sri Lanka and other countries as well, and increasing competition from regional manufacturers, because all of the things are not manufacturers within Hayleys. Some of the raw materials we have to get from other parts. So that competition increase can increase cost or decrease the quality. Those kind of things can threat the quality of the products of Hayleys PLC. And now we come into the external environment. So now I'm not going to go very deep in this, because this is the pestle analysis, where in the political environment, what are the changes happening, and when it comes to the economical side, how the currency depreciations, interest rates are impacting on the business, and social side, how the increasing demand for the type of products that they have, and when they are focusing on community-based agriculture and including environment employment, creates a good brand image for them. And the technological side, then now the technology is improving day by day. So there are some products through which they're thinking about the environment, while there are some kind of products where they have to be concerned about the type of impact that they're creating to the environment. So that is one thing that they have to be conscious about. Then we come to another analysis, which is the Porter's Five Forces analysis for Hayleys PLC. Rivalry among the competitors is considered considerably high because there are in a number of portfolio businesses which can have a high competition from the other businesses to them. Then the threats of substitutes are moderate level because they have certain kind of certifications and those kind of things. The threat of substitutes are controlled to some certain kind of level, and they have good brand loyalty and also good systems in order to produce and stick to them. So threat of substitute is at a moderate level. Buying power, we can say, is it is relatively high because for the products that Hayleys have, there are a lot of substitutes in the market. So the buyers have many options that they can go to, which can be a negative impact to the company. Threat of new entrants is also at a moderate level because, as you saw in the earlier first slide, this company has been operating for a number of years, a very old company, so they have very good brand loyalty. So even the new entrants, if the it may be a threat or may not be a threat. So it's at a moderate level, depending on the nature that they are trying to enter into the market. And supply power is also low to moderate because this depends. As they have number of products, some have low, some have at a moderate level. So the Hayleys PLC find it a bit difficult in order to influence the supplier power. Then we come onto the resources, capabilities, and competitiveness of the Hayleys PLC. When it comes to resources, actually, they have a lot of resources. Physical, they have plants, plantations, those machineries, equipments, lands, those kind of things. Financial is they have a positive financial cash flow, which is a really good thing. And then the intangible ones, which brings a lot of value to things, the good value, brand identity, certifications that they have created. And also, initially mentioned, they have very good human capital of about 31,000 employees. When it comes to the capabilities, they have an integrated supply chain management, and through this, they can efficiently run their supply chains and also carry out all the processes efficiently and effectively. And they are doing a lot of research and development in various kinds of fields that is going to pay back for them in the future. And then they have their own logistic aspects, which is known as Haley's advantage, which is another very important capability. And I think that is one of the strengths that they have. And now we are moving on to the competitiveness. In the industry leadership, they have industry leadership in activated carbon, gloves, those kind of products, which is a real good thing to maintain their brand image. And also their global presence is also high because they're operating in more than over 90 countries. And they are now recognized for ESG compliance, which is also another aspect that is helping them to bring up the brand identity. And they're getting high export earnings, which they can reinvest in their business and further develop the business. In order to achieve all those kind of things, there are different strategies that needed to be adopted by Hayleys PLC. So let me explain to you a few strategies that they are adapting. They are adapting this cost leadership, differentiation, focus strategy, sustainable driven advantage. So cost leadership means that they are offering products at competitive prices through operational efficiency. So some of the examples that we can consider here are there are, activated carbon production, global scale, and low-cost manufacturing advantage for them. So overall, I must say that this business is using sort of like a differentiation strategy in general for all of the products. All right. So when referring to the annual report of 2024-2025, there are some strategic moves taken by this business. They made some strategic moves such as they expanded globally in eco-packaging and purification during this year. Which is another huge step that they took. They invested in tech platforms for logistic and B2B trade, restructured in order to focus on high growth structures rather than just wasting their time on some products or clusters which does not have a high growth. They have fast followers in technology adoption. They have some they're one of the first movers in some sustainability products, which gave them the competitive advantage in those markets. And their operations are spanning over 16 sectors around over 90 countries. So that is one of the international strategies which has been very advantageous for them. So, as I mentioned earlier, the execution of the corporate strategy, if we took, they have the corporate strategy, which is the diversification. So they have both related diversification and unrelated diversifications. Related diversification is identified in agri inputs, plantations, eco products, those kind of things. Unrelated diversification in consumer durables and logistics. So this execution is supported by having clear KPIs, autonomous strategic business units, which are run by the entrepreneurs themselves inside the business. There are strong governance with board committees, which is very important in order to carry out the activities efficiently and effectively. And they also practice the synergy creation, which is important in creating a better outcome of the inputs that you put. Okay, and then what about the people? Yes, they have a lot of people. They have over 31,000 employees in their business. They have become very supportive to executing the strategic direction and achieving the strategic direction in the business. And then they have this decentralized management structure where people can give their ideas, engage in the decision-making processes, which is very effective because not like previously, they are not focusing more on these hierarchical structures. They always tend to choose the flat structures because it gives more of the power for the employees in order to give their ideas, which is really helpful for the companies to grow. Because now we are focusing on innovative spaces where we are giving the opportunity for employees to give out their ideas and improve the business. And then there are leadership development programs like talent acceleration programs in this business and continued process improvements in manufacturing and service sectors, which have been done through people in order for proper strategy execution. What about the culture and leadership in Hayleys PLC? Is it supportive of the strategy? Of course it is, because they have a group executive board and CEO literature, innovation councils, ethical governance and ESG integration. These kind of things, these kind of culture, these kind of proper leadership in the business have been aiding them in running the strategies successfully. So now we are moving on to a very important part when it comes to the identifying whether this company is really good one in order to invest, which is the financial performance. So as you all can see, there is a comparison of the years 2023, 2024, and 2025 and 2025, and the year-on-year change is indicated. So when it comes to revenue, there can be seen a growth of 6.2% year on year. This growth comes despite macroeconomic constraints, proving the resilience of their export engine and the multi-sector presence. And then the operating profit is up. Efficiency is gained in manufacturing, improved product mix has contributed to the margin improvements, and the profit after tax is we are mainly focusing on. It is 16.4% jump from the previous year. Net profit margins have improved across major sectors, especially purification and logistics, and earning per share is indicating growing value per share, which is a really good thing for an investor. So these are the key financial ratios of the business. So return on equity is, yes, return on equity has also increased, which is showing the competitive for a diversified holding company. Then the gross profit margins, net profit margins have also increased even by a small percentage, which is a huge value when it comes to values. And those kinds of changes we can see. And the current ratio is also has increased. Debt to equity ratio has decreased, which is another good thing. Interest coverage is also a good thing, has increased because this shows that how much of a payments they can done and frequency they do it. And the dividend insights, dividend per share is 6%, dividend payout ratio is to 23%. This is also another indication that the organization is really performing well and is really good for the good for investors. So with that, we have come to the end of our